Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, outside we go as we take a look outside our weather window from this afternoon. And boy, it was kind of a misty, cloudy morning, and then things began to clear up around noon. We actually saw peaks of the sun this afternoon. Excuse me, and that made for a beautiful afternoon. You can still see some low-hanging clouds along the Cascades at times today, and just a peek of that blue sky as we look down from our Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower camera at beautiful Wenatchee Valley. And as we make our way through the rest of this week and into this weekend, and even the first part of next week, after we get through today, tomorrow will be mostly dry for us across north central Washington. And then by Thursday night and especially into Friday, another good chance of rain. In fact, we'll have a good chance here in Wenatchee that we'll touch on later. Saturday and the weekend, not bad. And then maybe a few more showers as we get into Monday and Tuesday. Your complete weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Like a scene from Die Hard, the two inmates who escaped yesterday from the Okanagan County Jail apparently got out through the ventilation system. Wenatchee police are looking for a woman who they say hit a utility pole in another vehicle early this morning on Miller Street before fleeing on foot. And the Grand Coulee man who allegedly tried to set fire to the Spokane Democratic headquarters last month has now been charged in federal court. But first we begin tonight. Governor Jay Inslee announced a new strategy for pandemic recovery on Tuesday, allowing local economies to reopen on a regional basis as their COVID-19 stats improve. Instead of county-by-county improvement, the Healthy Washington plan creates 8 regions where coronavirus factors will determine how quickly commerce and gatherings can resume. Inslee outlined the plan in a press conference yesterday.
Right now, we only have 2 phases, but more phases will be put on the board when it becomes clear that we have knocked down COVID activity emphatically. And also a significant difference is that this will not be done on a county-by-county basis, but instead will be done by regions. We have found that because healthcare systems are regional, and we know that viruses do not respect county boundaries, we're moving to a regional assessment of criteria to allow increased economic activity. This makes sense not only from a public health perspective, but also from a healthcare delivery perspective. And on the screen here, you have a map of the regions. We have 8 regions. They're both based on health system resources over the geographic area. So their combined health metrics, we know, play an enormous role on what we use to track our progress. These are metrics that our partners are already familiar with that we will be using to judge when we're ready to reopen certain economic parts of our state. These are COVID-19 hospitalization rates, ICU capacity, case data, and test positivity data. All 4 targets will need to be met for the regions to reopen. And based on the metrics this plan is built on, every region in phase 1 today, every region will start in phase 1 today, given their metrics at the moment. There won't have to be any application process to move through to phase 2. It'll essentially be automatic, if you will, based on information regularly collected by the State Department of Health. So it'll be something that the numbers will tell the tale.
Chelan, Douglas, Okanagan, and Grant counties are all bundled into a north central region under that plan. The measures would go into effect on Monday. Well, like a scene from Die Hard, the 2 inmates who escaped yesterday from the Okanagan County Jail apparently got out through the ventilation system. 53-year-old Christian Edward White of Rock Island and 28-year-old Christopher L. Whitman of Bellingham are still being sought by police after disappearing from the facility early Monday. They're believed to have exited through the HVAC system after prying open a vent in the shower area. Deputies say the 2 men left notes for their jailers. White's note allegedly said he was afraid of catching COVID-19 while incarcerated. He was last seen near Omak. The 2 were last known to be wearing blue inmate clothing with white long underwear, but Sheriff Tony Hawley says they may have changed outfits. He said anyone who sees the men shouldn't approach them, but contact law enforcement immediately. Well, Wenatchee police are looking for a woman who they say hit a utility pole and another vehicle early this morning on Miller Street before fleeing on foot. Captain Edgar Reinfeld said police believe they know the identity of the driver of the Ford Escape, and now it's just a matter of locating her. Miller Street between Orchard Street and First Street was closed for a short time after the 5:20 a.m. accident, while crews removed some telecom lines that were knocked down in that wreck. Reinfeld said after hitting the power pole, the Escape then struck a Honda Accord. The driver of the Accord sustained minor injuries that were treated at the scene. Meanwhile, the Grand Coulee man who allegedly tried to set fire to Spokane Democratic headquarters last month has now been charged in federal court. A grand jury indicted 45-year-old Peter James Yeager on Tuesday on a charge of damage by fire to a building used in interstate commerce. Yeager is accused of warning people out of the building by saying that he had a bomb and then started a small fire using gasoline, oil, a roll of toilet paper, and a camping lighter. He didn't have any explosives. Spokane police said Yeager told them that he wanted to strike out against elites within the government system. He could face up to 20 years in prison and remains held in the Spokane County Jail on a $500,000 bond. Well, coming up next, the number of COVID-19 patients being treated at Central Washington Hospital has fallen off in the past 2 weeks, but the number of those patients in the hospital's intensive care unit has reached maximum capacity. Confluence Health has now administered 96% of the COVID-19 vaccine doses supplied through the state by the CDC, and starting in mid-January, the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife will conduct mule deer captures from helicopters in Chelan and Okanogan counties. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in North Central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today. Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
Welcome back. In another news, the number of COVID-19 patients being treated at Central Washington Hospital has fallen off in the past 2 weeks, but the number of those patients in the hospital's intensive care unit has reached maximum capacity. Confluence Health said of the 29 coronavirus patients at the hospital as of Tuesday, 14 were in the ICU, with all but one of those patients on a ventilator. In mid-December, the hospital had as many as 37 COVID-19 patients at one time, but the number of patients in ICU never reached double digits. Confluence Public Information Officer Andrew Canning said with all the COVID-19 and non-COVID-19 patients, the ICU has been at maximum capacity for the past 2 days, meaning some patients requiring ICU care had to be sent to other hospitals. Confluence Health has now administered 96% of the COVID-19 vaccine doses supplied through the state by the CDC. That's 2,067 out of 2,150 doses as of yesterday, and it's just the first round of the two-part Pfizer and Moderna vaccines designated for frontline healthcare workers and first responders like police and paramedics. Confluence spokesman Andrew Canning says the second round of Pfizer inoculations is due to begin tomorrow, giving those workers the best possible immunization against the coronavirus. Earlier this week, Confluence ran short on its initial supply, but then received 700 doses of Moderna vaccine from CHI Franciscan Health System in Federal Way that would otherwise have gone to surplus. Walgreens is managing initial vaccinations of residents in local long-term care centers. Well, starting in mid-January, the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife will conduct mule deer captures from helicopters in 3 study areas along the east slopes of the Cascades. They include Okanogan, Chelan, Kittitas, and Klickitat counties, and in the Blue Mountain counties of Walla Walla, Columbia, and Garfield. The department will use contracted professional crews to capture approximately 125 adult female mule deer across all areas. To make the captures as safe as possible for both deer and humans, humane capture methods, and experienced crews are always used. The deer will be fitted with GPS satellite tracking collars, and that will allow researchers to track them to evaluate movement and migration patterns and learn more about habitat use and survival of these mule deer populations. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kerry Condata. This is the 12th District TV show, aired 8 times every week on NCWLIFE TV. We cover business and politics like no one else does it because I've been there and done it. 30 years self-employed, 16 years in the House of Representatives, and 12 years running campaigns across the state of Washington. That resume means you're getting information you can't get anywhere else. This is the 12th District. I'm Kerry Condata.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's features story, the owner of Works Gyms in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee says his fitness centers will reopen Monday on a limited basis under Governor Jay Inslee's new COVID-19 guidelines announced yesterday. But Blair McCaney, who is the president of the Washington Fitness Alliance, said that while the new Healthy Washington guidelines are a win for fitness centers, Inslee didn't go far enough in helping other struggling businesses.
Yes, you may open in phase 1 if you're fitness. You may open beginning Monday the 11th. The number of people that can be in your club is based on 1 person per 500 square foot of area in your club. They will probably likely ask for appointments to people be scheduled by appointment, but if you can control for it by counting at the door, you can just make sure that you are, within that range. And then the other thing that we're looking for is 45 minutes of activity, and then people would roll out of the gym. We will open our gyms in Wenatchee on Monday. We can control for that number of people. We have enough area that will be counting and may use a reservation system. But the big win here is that fitness can open in phase 1, and indoor fitness has not been included in phase 1. Phase 2 right now is going to be the same as it was before, 25% no showers. We're pushing to try to get showers open. Air turnover is generally quite good in locker rooms, and if you have individual showers, then we think they should be open. The biggest disappointment that I personally have in this is that restaurants, bowling alleys, and theaters were largely left out in phase one. And I think they can all control and operate safely. My hope was that all businesses would be allowed to operate safely in every phase at some level. Businesses should not be left behind, and small businesses especially should not be left behind. So right now, as fitness is benefiting, I beg you all to keep in mind the restaurants, the bowling alleys, and the theaters that are not going to be included in phase one right now. That's our win right now, and let's keep pushing for all businesses to open safely. Thanks.
All right, let's switch gears now and take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. But as we usually do, let's take a look first outside our weather window from this afternoon. It really turned out to be a nice day. We had lots of clouds this morning. It still had that kind of chilly feel, although we were pretty warm to start the day. And then by this afternoon, a little bit of blue sky poked out at times. We saw the sun, temperatures warmed up, and even some low-hanging, lingering clouds from that storm system that moved through yesterday. But all in all, a pretty darn nice day. Unofficially high temperature this afternoon. Check it out, 40 degrees, way above where we should be for this time of year of 32. As a matter of fact, our low this morning of 32. Yeah, that should be our high for this time of year. 23 is our normal low. Record high back in 2009 at 50 degrees. Record low 1982, where it was 10 below zero. Did pick up 3/100ths of an inch of precipitation yesterday, and that now gets us to 33/100ths for the year so far. Sunrise this morning 7:47 and set this afternoon at 4:27. As we take a look at what's going to happen in your Thursday forecast, actually I think Thursday will be a pretty quiet day. We'll see a steady stream of increasing clouds throughout the day, but Columbia Basin, you'll be in the upper 30s to lower 40s. Wenatchee also in the upper 30s. About 36 for you folks in Leavenworth tomorrow, 38 Eniat, and 37 the high temperature for Thursday in Chelan. But things will change as we get into late Thursday night and especially Friday morning. We'll get to that in a second. Let's take a look at that surface loop tonight. Partly cloudy skies and pretty quiet weather. We're going to be actually mostly clear at times overnight tonight. But by the time we get into our Thursday, this system will move just a little bit closer to us. You can see it right here, and that's going to throw some clouds our way throughout the day. And then by, I think, midnight, especially our overnight hours into Friday morning, an 80% chance for rain mixed with snow, but not before we see a mild day tomorrow. I think it'll be a lot like today. Temperatures in the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. For Friday, cloudy, an 80% chance of mainly early morning showers. You can see that right here. This is about 7 or 8 in the morning, and by the time we get into the afternoon, then mostly cloudy. For Saturday, partly cloudy. It will be dry as we get into our upcoming weekend. Temperatures will still be above normal. I don't think it's going to be even that cold as we get into central Washington. We'll see temperatures in the upper 30s for Saturday. More of the same. Mild weather on Sunday, mostly cloudy skies then. Our break from the wet weather will come to an end as we get into the first part of next week, because look at that moisture field headed our direction. For Monday, cloudy skies, a 30% chance then as we start our next work week of rain mixed with snow. I think that'll mainly be in the afternoon, and we are going to stay on the mild side with high temperatures once again, upper 30s to around 40 degrees. For Tuesday, cloudy skies, and that's when this storm will really kick into gear. Very tightly wound, and that'll throw a good moisture field our way, and it will remain unseasonably mild on Tuesday. We are talking possibilities of lower to mid 40s in some locations, and by Wednesday and Thursday, maybe even 50s. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast. Tonight will drop down to 29, so things could get a little bit slick as you make that morning commute tomorrow. Increasing clouds for Thursday, but not a bad day tomorrow at 38. 80% chance of morning rain and snow on Friday and 37. Quiet weather then until we get to Monday and Tuesday. By then, just a chance for rain showers with highs still mild into the upper 30s and lower 40s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Grandstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue.
Currently, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is open for takeout. Owner Justin Hefner and his staff are just as excited as you to get back to their regularly scheduled full menu, music, and poker. So stay tuned. Meanwhile, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is serving a limited menu for lunch and dinner takeout.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. We could know a lot more about the future of high school sports in Washington by tomorrow morning, let's say. WIAA Executive Board was meeting earlier today to update its season schedules. Goal is to provide student athletes a chance to participate in every sport and activity possible based on the mandatory COVID-19 guidelines. Now, the meeting delayed until today for the WIAA to get a chance to review new guidelines released by the governor's office. Yesterday, Governor Inslee announced a new strategy, breaking the state into 8 regions for reopening rather than going county by county. The so-called Healthy Washington Initiative is set to begin Monday, with each region starting at level 1 restart phase. Well, it's likely the Seahawks will face the Rams with backup quarterback John Wilford under center Saturday in the NFC wildcard playoffs. Wilford led the Rams past Arizona last week in a must-win game to get into the playoffs. Linebacker Bobby Wagner says Wilford provides Los Angeles with a different look other than Jared Goff.
I think the biggest thing was, him being a little bit more mobile. Definitely felt like he, when he didn't have it downfield, he took off and ran the ball. And, Goff did it, a little bit in our game, but not the way that they did it, not the way he did it in Arizona. So I wouldn't be surprised if they even threw in a couple design quarterback runs for him. So I think that would be the big difference. As far as the offense, it was still the same offense, still making the same reads, still looking for the same guys. Obviously, you want to get the ball in your playmakers' hands, and he'll have more playmakers this week, but I definitely expect him to use his legs a little bit when he has to.
Coach Pete Carroll was impressed by the quarterback out of Wake Forest, whose previous playing time was with the Arizona Hotshots of the Alliance of American Football League.
He had a really good game, and to bounce back from his first throw he makes, gets picked off, and he bounced right back and had a really winning football game, and I'm sure they're just really excited about it. And they didn't protect him to and be safe with him at all. He threw the ball over the yard and made some big throws down the field and spread the formations and all that. It was really impressive. And he ran well too, and so I can see that if that's the way they're going, that they would have a high level of excitement about his ability to throw together another good game. So he did really well.
The Rams' high-powered offense has gone without a touchdown over the past 2 weeks. KJ Wright says Seattle's defense hopes to continue that trend on Saturday.
That is very surprising. This team is just full of talent, from the receiving corps to I think their tight ends are one of the best in the league, and they've always been explosive ever since he's been there. And so it's we know that come Sunday he go do some stuff to try to get them going, whether it's no huddle, whether they try to get shots downfield. And so we got to make it our mission to do the same thing. We had a great game against them 2 weeks ago, and so we got to make sure we repeat that and have another successful game.
Wright is in the middle of one of his best seasons as a pro. The 10th-year man is second on the team in tackles with 86 combined. Defensive coordinator Ken Norton Jr. says KJ is the kind of player a coach dreams of having.
It's amazing that you say that. Just watching him play like you guys have over the years, KJ is, so many things that you can coach. There's a lot of things you can't coach. And there's so many things that you can rely on him to cover you on the field. He makes everyone else around him better. Everyone understand his football IQ. He's a gym rat when it comes to ball. He's always watching film, always asking questions, always wants to know why. And you can tell when he plays, he figures things out really fast. And he's able to have a conversation with him in a few words, give him a little look, make a little adjustment, and he does it right there. He's a coach's dream now. He's serious about what he does, and he's certainly a guy that makes us all better.
On the other side of the football, Seattle's production offensively has regressed since the first half of the season. Through the first 8 games, the Seahawks offense averaged 415 yards a game, 298 of which through the air. Since then, Seattle's passing attack is down nearly 100 yards per game. Coach Pete Carroll says he thinks it's more about the defenses they've faced rather than a problem with the offense.
getting ready to go put together a game plan and execute the things that we can do. We're going to mix our game, do the things that we like doing, and see if we can find a way to get enough points to win a game. And whatever it is. I don't care about the numbers before, or the stats, or any of that stuff. It doesn't matter. All that stuff's gone. It doesn't matter at all right now. It's what happens now that counts. And so we couldn't be more fired up to go to this game and see if we can find our way to win.
And having Mike Iupati and Brandon Shell back, what does that do for the offense? And
stability, stability, really. Both those guys have been solid performers for us. They have the most experience over the guys that have been playing. That should help the guys next to them. Both those guys are starters for a reason, and so we're happy to have them back. It looks great to see those guys in the huddle.
The Seahawks and Rams will kick off at 1:40 Saturday afternoon in Seattle for the NFC wildcard playoffs. You can watch that game live on Fox. Well, here's what we have coming up this week on the NCWLIFE channel as far as our sports on TV. Hockey night tomorrow features the Wenatchee Wild and Merritt Centennials from last September at the Town Toyota Center. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. It's hard to believe the last high school sports we had in Washington was last March in the State 1A basketball tournament. Friday, we'll re-air the NFHS broadcast to the Kashmir girls in the semifinals against LaSalle. You can watch that Friday at 7. Then on Saturday, we're back in the Sundome in Yakima for the Kashmir boys trophy game against Riverview at 2 o'clock. That's followed by the Kashmir girls against Linden Christian for the state title. That is at 7. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And as we leave you tonight, the Apple Blossom Royalty Selection Pageant on February 27th won't have a live audience, but festival organizers are hoping people will still show their support by buying fan cutouts. The cutouts are $50 each, with the buyer also listed as a friend of the festival sponsor in the pageant program. The goal is to sell 400 of the cutouts, which might look something like the example of recognizable faces we created. You may see your cutout during the live NCWLIFE broadcast of the pageant, which will also be streamed live on Facebook. Instructions for buying a cutout and for submitting your photo are available at appleblossom.org. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. Tomorrow on a Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, very special guest. You're just going to have to wait and see. So tune in tomorrow for that. And also tomorrow on January 7th is National Bobblehead Day. So I have my favorite bobblehead. It's my Lou Gehrig bobblehead. It was a gift from a family member of mine. Oh, gee, 25, 30 years ago now. I just looked this up on eBay. This sucker goes for about $80 on eBay. It's my Lou Gehrig bobblehead doll. See that? So throughout the course of the show tomorrow, I'm just going to play with my bobblehead because I'm a bobblehead. See me tomorrow, 7 a.m., right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Grant, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. You're a great dancer. That's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from Localtel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.